Thank you, Abraham. I've been aware of you, or really tuning into you for about 6 months now, and it has been thrilling. And I could hardly contain myself with the person before me. I was just so thrilled at what you were saying. And one of my questions, I've heard you talk about karma. And
what have you heard us say about it?
I love it.
We never bring it up.
I know.
So it's hardly us talking about it. It's sort of you all talking about it, and us
Right.
putting up with you talking about it.
One of the things that you've said is, to put it bluntly, you do not carry your negative concerns from lifetime to lifetime, which I love that. But what I was wondering is,
That's why we call it karma cop-out.
do we carry our positive realizations from lifetime to lifetime, assuming that lifetime is even linear? For example, if one...
Well, now don't lose track of what we just talked about, because
Okay.
we gave you a different way of looking at this, so let's not
Okay.
assume that it's linear, because it isn't.
Okay.
So as you're living this life experience, and in this life experience you are launching rockets of desire, and those rockets of desires are being joined immediately by source, then that which is really you is absolutely benefiting and expanding by this physical life experience. And since that part of you is non-physical, your being physical or non-physical is irrelevant to the expansion that that part of you has achieved as a result of his exposure to you. That was really good. Unless a physical being is in connection with who he really is, he is not living the potential of his joy. And that's what it is all about. It's not for the achieving of something. It's for the living in the moment in the most joyful way. The best analogy that we can give you, we want so much for you to hear this, is if you'd planned a vacation and you were going to go to several places, and you say, well, I'm going to go here, and 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 then I'm going to come back home. So a logical human would look at the list and say, oh, I'm going to end up home, and I'm already there. Why go? I guess I'll just check that off my list because I've already accomplished it, you see. And we say, but you don't go on the vacation to get it done. You go on the vacation for the fun along the way, for the insights, for the joy of life, for the opportunity to smell something wonderful and see something wonderful and taste something wonderful and feel something wonderful. In other words, life is for living, and living is for feeling and being, you see. And that's why all of it exists. There isn't something that needs to be done. They're not planning committees in heaven trying to get this universe zoned or organized. It's all for the joy of the moment. All for the joy of the moment. So as you walk around the lake and you breathe in the air and you see the ducks swimming and you feel the sun, someone standing against the rail with his face to the sun in the sky, and Esther and Jerry said, that's true basking. In other words, that's what life is about, finding moments to feel good. And sometimes feeling good is about finding something interesting. Sometimes feeling good is finding something humorous. Sometimes feeling good is finding something pleasant. In other words, there are endless combinations for the living of life. The better you feel, the more you're allowing right here, right now, that which is Source to live life with you. Source is always living life with you, but when you feel good, you're letting yourself live the life that Source is living because of the contrast that you are living. We're really getting out there in some good places here, aren't we?
And I've wondered, because you talk so beautifully about who we are as pure positive energy, liquid love, how is it that we ever got so disconnected from that?
Because you cared more about what somebody else said you should do than how you felt about it.
I mean, way back, not like when we're born in this lifetime and we have all the influence.
No,
but at some point...
No karma. It all started in this life experience. In other words, when you came into this body, you were tuned in, tapped in, turned on. You were in pure vibrational alignment with who you are. Every single one of you, every single time, you see. There's a lot more alignment going on than you give yourself credit. You know where we see it the most? When you are in traffic. In other words, when you are in your automobiles, there are all kinds of things that you do that allow a pure connection. When you are slumbering, you allow a pure connection. When you are meditating, you allow a pure connection. When you are singing, often in the football stadiums, the basketball stadiums, in other words, sporting events, often in religious venues, always, or most always, when you are little and playing with your beasts, all of the beasts of your planet, for the most part. There are exceptions, of course, but the connection to source is huge in comparison with the not. You see, we want to play down the disconnection and play up the connection. We want to help you to understand that in all of this, in other words, even when you're living extreme contrast, the contrast provides desire that is so beneficial to source and to you, if you will allow it, and to future generations. In other words, it just can't go wrong. It just isn't going as wrong as you want to make it out to be. It's so easy to bring yourself back into alignment. Once you understand it, and we know that we're helpful, you certainly are helpful. Once you get it, that your inner being feels one way and you feel another way, and that your work is to feel like your inner being feels. And your inner being is so helpful because your inner being never comes to be with you. In other words, your inner being never lowers its vibration in order to join you. That's what negative emotion is. In other words, if you could talk your inner being into having a pity party or getting bummed out like your friend, you say to your friend, I need you to be there for me. So your friend drags herself into your environment and listens to the things that you've been complaining about until before long you've tuned her right into your vibration. Your inner being never does that. If you could get your inner being to join you in that lower vibration, then you wouldn't feel the separation between you and your inner being, which is what negative emotion is, you see. It is so easy to feel good. You just have to want to. And we think the reason that most of you don't know how easy it is because you've been trying to make too big of a jump and then you end up in the ditch. Where if you'll just incrementally move yourself along, you'll feel better and better and better. Until before you know it, life will take on the meaning that it is supposed to take on.